So the intention of the agreement is to allow families, siblings, brothers, sisters, to communicate in a situation where they need to help take care of mom or dad as they're getting older. It could be as simple as mom and dad aren't ready for a living community, but the siblings need to take turns looking in on them or helping them do some shopping, to a much more in-depth, where we really have to look at someone and assess them as being the primary caretaker. And so with this agreement, we now allow ourselves to have communication and guidelines so that each and every sibling has something that they can do to help in the responsibility of taking care of mom and dad. Once you get the agreement, here's how you go about involving your brothers and sisters. You invite them to join you in establishing guidelines. You actually take the agreement and send it to them, all of them. Let them have some time to take a look at the agreement, which actually deals with scenarios, different situations. You may have a brother who is a lawyer. He may want to take on the role of helping in any of the legal responsibilities. Perhaps you have a family member that knows about the medical world. They, in turn, can volunteer to help and take over the medical field. You know, what we're really doing is taking the agreement and we are distributing responsibilities between the siblings so that it does not become the burden on one. It becomes the invitation to help with all the kids. So how does the agreement work? Well, first you invite your siblings to take a look at the agreement, and then you all promise. You promise to come together for the well-being of your family, for the well-being of mom and dad. How do you do it? Well, each agreement allows you, just through a very easy check-off, yes/no questions, to establish the guidelines to actually take care of maybe picking up mom or dad's laundry, maybe taking them to the doctors, paying their bills, and even paying into a pot that will help mom and dad if they're not in a situation where they can afford. You know, in this economy, as things are getting, and people are living longer, I think we'll all be helping out our parents one way or another. So each agreement has financial section that you can look at, a communication driving section. It has charts in it so that you can specifically say, I am going to be responsible for taking mom to the doctor every 2 weeks, or I'm going to take dad to get a haircut. You are then able, with the different charts, to say, I'm going to watch how much money I pay for mom and dad, or I'm going to keep their receipts, and everything can come back so that we have, in the end, everyone participating and feeling that records are kept or it's evened out as much as possible. But let me say that really, and not everything is going to be even, and you aren't even going to know situations that will come up that you'll have to handle. But now with the agreement, we just give you that moment to think about how to keep the elephant out of the room. So with this agreement, inviting your siblings to join together in facilitating and with your parents growing older, it gives you the option to have no guilt, and it allows all the family members to be involved. That's the beauty of it, because in the end, we want to look back and say, we did it together, and that we did it right. This is not meant to replace directives, healthcare, powers of attorney. No, it's really not about that. It's also not legally binding. But what it is something that brings us all together. Again, you may have a brother or sister that lives in another state, perhaps even another country. There's no need for everyone or one person to take it on all by themselves. So this agreement facilitates that. It allows the brother or sister that is in another country, that is in another state, to be able to participate, whether it's the weekly phone calls, perhaps financial, maybe even coming out for respite for you that have been that primary caretaker. That's what this agreement is about. That's where the promise is. You're promising to help one another again in hopes that mom and dad, as they move along in life, will be surrounded by all the great intentions that we have in trying to help our parents as they grow older.